Hey folks, welcome to another episode of Military Forces Unleashed. Today, we're diving into a beast that's part plane, part fortress, and 100% terrifying for anyone on the wrong end of its guns. That's right, we're talking about the Lockheed AC-130. If you've ever wondered what happens when you strap an artillery battery to an airplane, buckle up. This one's for you. In today's video, we'll break down the AC-130, its history, its insane firepower, and how it's carved out a reputation as the ultimate close air support platform. And yeah, we'll throw in a healthy dose of dark humor and critical analysis along the way, because that's how we roll here. The story of the AC-130 begins in the 1960s, when the U.S. Air Force realized it needed something more than fast jets for close air support in the jungles of Vietnam. Enter the C-130 Hercules, a rugged transport plane already famous for its ability to haul anything from troops to tanks. Someone had the brilliant, or slightly insane idea to arm this flying truck with a bunch of heavy guns. The result? A slow-moving but heavily armed beast that could loiter over battlefields and rain destruction with pinpoint accuracy. By 1967, the AC-130 was making its combat debut in Vietnam, and let me tell you, it wasn't subtle. Using advanced sensors, for the time, it could spot and destroy enemy convoys at night, earning nicknames like Spectre and Spooky. It was so effective that even today, over 5 decades later, modernized versions of the AC-130 are still in service. Think about that. Most planes retire after 30 years. The AC-130 just keeps getting upgrades and returning to the fight. Let's talk about what makes this beast tick. The AC-130 is basically a flying Swiss Army knife of destruction. Depending on the variant, it's armed with a buffet of weapons. A 25mm Gatling gun for shredding infantry, a 40mm Bofors cannon for light vehicles, and a 105mm howitzer, yes, an actual artillery piece, for turning enemy strongholds into rubble. And that's not all. Modern versions, like the AC-130J Ghost Rider, have laser-guided missiles, precision bombs, and even high-energy laser systems under development. It's as if the designers thought, what's the most overkill we can fit into one airframe? The result is a plane that doesn't just engage targets, it obliterates them. In terms of tech, the AC-130 is a flying data hub. Its sensor suite can detect targets in any weather, day or night, and its fire control system ensures every shot counts. It's not fast or stealthy, but speed and sneaky moves aren't its game. Its job is to show up, stay put, and ruin someone's day. The AC-130's tech has come a long way since its Vietnam days. Early models relied on manual targeting, which was accurate but slow. Modern versions use advanced radar, infrared cameras, and even drones to scout and engage targets. The AC-130J can even team up with other aircraft for coordinated strikes, a far cry from the point-and-shoot tactics of its predecessors. But let's be real, all this tech comes at a cost. Maintaining an AC-130 is like maintaining a classic car. If that car had guns and flew at 30,000 feet, each sortie requires hours of prep, tons of fuel, and a small army of technicians to keep it running. It's worth it, though, when you see what this beast can do on the battlefield. The AC-130 earned its stripes in Vietnam, but truly came into its own during more recent conflicts like Iraq and Afghanistan. Remember Operation Enduring Freedom? AC-130s were a nightmare for insurgents, providing close air support to U.S. forces during urban firefights and remote engagements. Their ability to loiter and deliver precise firepower made them invaluable in asymmetric warfare. One standout example was during the 2002 battle in Gardez, Afghanistan, where an AC-130 provided critical support to trapped U.S. and Afghan forces. Its cannons cleared enemy positions and turned the tide of the battle. It's moments like these that cement the AC-130's legendary status. Now let's take off the fanboy goggles and look at the AC-130 critically. Yes, it's an incredible platform, but it's not without flaws. For starters, it's slow, like painfully slow. In contested airspace, it's a sitting duck for advanced anti-aircraft systems. This limits its use to conflicts where air superiority is already established. And then there's the cost. Each AC-130J costs around $115 million, and that's before you factor in maintenance and operational expenses. It's like owning a luxury yacht that also happens to be a weapon of war. Another issue is its reliance on extensive logistics. Unlike fast jets that can operate from remote airstrips, the AC-130 needs well-maintained bases and a steady supply chain to stay mission-ready. In a high-intensity conflict, that's a potential Achilles heel. So, what's the verdict? The Lockheed AC-130 is a marvel of engineering and a terror for enemies. But it's also a reminder that no weapon system is perfect. It's built for a specific role, and it excels in that role, but it's not a silver bullet. That said, it's hard not to admire the sheer audacity of strapping a howitzer to a plane and saying, "Let's go to work." If you enjoyed this deep dive into the AC-130, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with your friends. And hey, drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you think the AC-130's advantages outweigh its drawbacks? Or is it time for something new? Thanks for watching, folks. Your support means the world to us, and we'll catch you in the next one. Until then, stay curious, stay critical, and as always, keep unleashing that military knowledge.